back to Cougar Creations. My name is Brady, and we are now in the control room for the St. Michael Tech team. We're going to kind of give you guys a little tour of the setup here. So we're going to start here. This is the director position. So they're going to be switching between the different cameras during a live stream, and then also monitoring audio as well, just to make sure everything's running smoothly. So they're kind of the head of the operation for our streams, and then they're also running our OBS system, which is our live streaming system to stream out to YouTube. Next up here, this is the producer spot, and the producer is kind of just the head of everything. They're saying when we're going to go to commercial break and do all that sort of stuff. They also run replay, and they're also monitoring our OBS program and our camera feeds as well. That way, if the director needs any help with that, they're able to help as well. And then we also have our stream deck right here, which is what they control, which also controls the OBS studio program, and that we have some hotkeys on there which make it easy to switch between different things during the broadcast as well. And then I can go ahead and mention over here we have this kind of our charging station. A lot of our equipment's here, and we are, it's kind of hard to see, but we are charging all of our cameras and audio gear and all the stuff we got. And then next up, this is our graphics station. So they're going to be running the graphics during the live broadcast. They'll be updating our on-screen scoreboard for our sporting events, pulling up lower thirds, just kind of all sorts of different graphics that we have. We have different stuff for all of our different streams that we do. So you take a look at that. And then our live feed person, which sits in the other chair here, is going to be kind of just monitoring the stream, making sure there's no issues with the viewing experience on the YouTube side of things. So those are kind of all the different positions. Of course, we have our camera crew, which will be outside the room here, broadcasting down on the gym floor. And then we have our play-by-play broadcasters that are out there as well. So at the beginning of the streams, just to kind of prepare for our broadcasts, we have our crew come in. Usually they come in about an hour before the stream, and we'll begin setting everything up. So setting up our cameras, turning on all of our equipment, as you can see behind me, and just preparing, making sure that everything works beforehand, testing it, and making sure everyone's prepared for what we're going to be broadcasting. We have, of course, we have our different positions in here. We have usually 4 people in here, and then outside we have 2 cameras upstairs. And then our play-by-play broadcasters are also up here if we're doing a sporting event. And then downstairs on the gym floor, we'll have a downstairs on the floor camera. And then usually we will mount a GoPro, which is not manned, it's just a GoPro stationary, usually on the backboard of our basketball goal for a basket cam. Yeah, so I actually started the program back when I was in 8th grade. We had some kind of stuff going on, just little things we were doing for our YouTube channel before that, but we actually started the live streaming back when I was in 8th grade because toward the end of my 7th grade year was actually when COVID began. So there was parents where they couldn't watch our events because they couldn't come to the school, just with all the restrictions. So we started live streaming the different events for the school, and we've continued doing it ever since. Welcome back to Cougar Creations. My name is Brady, and today I'm joined here with Emily Capon. How are you doing today?
I feel very blessed. I'm doing very well today, thank you.
Great. So how was Tech Team created, and what inspired its creation?
Well, that's quite a long story. Tech Team was created in the beginning because at the end of the year, students kind of got tired of working. They've worked really hard all year. So we decided that we would work on creating some lip dubs. So we started learning how to record and using audio through lip dubs. And then it went into recording some prayers and things students were doing. I had a very, very brilliant, helpful former student who was a key component of starting everything that we did. We created our first stream during COVID because we wanted to show the talent show. and we couldn't have parents coming into the building at that time. So it was through need, but also through a way to get kids excited about still learning when it gets towards the end of the year.
So you mentioned streaming. I guess besides streaming, what does the club do? Do you guys do anything else?
Yes. Besides our streaming of musicals and events at school and events in the church, and sports, of course, we also record content. We create promos for things going on at school. We do learning activities, recording things, editing things, all kinds of things.
So what would you say your position is on tech team?
Oh, my position is to sit back and watch. I'm the faculty sponsor. I have students and former students who work really hard and come up with brilliant ideas, and I try and figure out ways to support those ideas through getting the right permissions and getting the right equipment that we need to see what we can come up with.
Now you said you're a faculty sponsor. I guess like during the streams, do you have like an important duty?
During the streams, I watch the equipment to make sure that it's all running. An example of that is we did have a cable that went out during a stream. Luckily, we use redundancy, which is having backup equipment. So we were able to switch out a cable and able to facilitate the stream to continue through that camera. We just switched to an alternate camera while we were changing over the cable.
Now, how can the students get involved that would like to join?
Oh, at the beginning of the year, we have applications that go out through their Google Classroom, and they sign up digitally, and we look carefully at their applications and look for students who work hard and are willing to learn and listen carefully, and they're on time. Students that we can count on and that love to learn and that are willing to help and have a great attitude.
Now, can you describe the different positions that your students need to fill on the crews?
Yes,
for the stream?
We have a variety of different positions. The first one being the director. And the director is director all year because it's quite a difficult thing to do. The director has to watch through the ATEM switcher and OBS. The director has to watch all the camera feeds. And we have 4, sometimes more camera feeds coming in, and they have to decide which camera we're going to follow through programs so that our audience can view it. We have a producer who's usually a former student who sets everything up, and they do a really good job. They make sure to put in the replays and guide the production. Next to them, we have our our graphics person. Our graphics person puts up the lower thirds or the score on the scoreboard, or pulls in a graphic screen on letting everybody know about a future event that we're going to be putting on our channel. Then next to them is our live stream person, and they monitor the live stream to make sure that the content we're putting into our YouTube channel is coming out properly through our YouTube channel. We also have an audio person, and they hand out all the talkbacks, and that's our way to communicate through the crew. It's like wireless headphones, and we pass those out, and then they pass out they set up the audio. So if we have broadcasters, they mic up the broadcasters or the interviewers and the subjects and test the audio before the live stream to make sure that the audio is coming through clear. Then outside the door, if we have a sporting event, we have play-by-play broadcasters commenting. And then we have 3 camera positions of 3 people running cameras. And then we have an unmanned camera. It's usually a GoPro at a very interesting position in the room.
Gotcha. Now, with all these positions, how many students do you have on tech team, and do they all show up to one event, or how's that work?
Currently, we have 14 students on tech team. Sometimes we lose some, sometimes we gain some. We have 2 crews, and we rotate between the 2 crews. Okay. So everybody's not, besides the director, everybody's not on the whole time. They'll do every other event.
Gotcha. Now, what do you hope those students learn while in the club?
I hope that those students learn what it's like to be behind the scenes in broadcasting. I hope that they gain an interest in broadcasting that they could use later on in college or high school and continue through that field, or at least know the concepts of broadcasting so that if they wanted to try it out themselves, they would know what they're doing.
Now, what are some of the challenges that you and the students face, before a live production or during,
Challenges generally are equipment, right? And making sure that everybody shows up. We generally have a really good crew, so we're okay to have every position covered. But sometimes we've had experiences where we've turned everything on and something's not working. So we have to problem solve to figure out why it's not working and then make it work.
Gotcha. And are there any new projects in the works?
Oh, yes. We have some really exciting projects in the works. But if you want to know what they are, you're going to have to check out our YouTube channel on Friday mornings at 10 a.m.
Gotcha. And what advice would you give to another school organization looking to start something like this?
Find students that have the interest. If you don't find students that have the interest, it really is probably not going to be very successful. So tech team is driven by student interest. And we continue due to student interest. And as long as we have student interest, we will continue.
Gotcha. Now, obviously you have quite a big tech team and room upstairs. How do you get all the equipment necessary to stream those events?
We have some very supportive people in the community that like to support what we're doing at St. Michael.
Awesome. And what is your goal with tech team?
My goal at tech team is to get students interested in broadcasting and hopefully to continue at Greenfield-Central and at college so that they know what they're doing. It's an easier transition into those levels because it's going to be harder the more information that they learn, and maybe sometime have a career in broadcasting.
Great. And what does the future look like for tech team?
That depends. It depends on student interest. So it all depends on what the students want to do. If they're interested, I'll continue. And if they're not interested, then we'll just have had a good run.
Awesome. Well, thank you for letting us come in and talk with you today.
You're welcome.
And thank you guys for watching.
I like that it spreads our school's events with anybody who wants to see them, like practically the whole world on YouTube. I just think that's really cool. We have stuff like that. I joined because I really want to learn how to operate cameras and all of the filming equipment. I also have a passion for film.
I really like that there's a lot of kids involved, and I also like that we can really relate to our faith and what we talk about. And we always begin with a prayer before our games, and I always think that's really interesting that we get to really relate our faith into that. I also like how we all work together, and I think it's really interesting how we all work together in that sense, and it's like we're all kind of combined in a community for the group. I really like talking, and for the broadcasters, we are allowed to talk a lot, and I also get to do the interviews, and I like being interviewed, and I think it's really interesting all the stuff that we get to do and how we work as a community. At St. Michael's, I've really taught how to do my broadcasting better. I've learned how to word better, and I've learned how to be better with my words. So when I do radio and TV, do a lot of interviews and stuff. So I think all the stuff that I've learned from here will really help me in radio and TV at Greenfield-Central.
I really like being behind the scenes and helping to create all the content that we make with Tech Team here at St. Michael's. I thought it would be a really great experience. It seemed really interesting, and I've enjoyed doing it since I've joined.
What I like about Tech Team is that I get to live stream the different school events. It's fun because you get to sit in the hot seat and you get to look at all the cameras and switch the different cameras of what's going to play.
You know, it gives our school the opportunity to be seen by people not just inside of school, but in Greenfield area and the state of Indiana. And we have people all the way around the world who have seen our videos. So it's one way that we can get our word out. So there are always great little clips that go out in advance of school events that people are able to take a look at, and that preview gets people excited about coming on board, taking a look at what we have to do and seeing what the kids are doing. So space is probably the biggest thing we have helped with. We purchase equipment as we can, but we have a wonderful donor who helps to make sure we have all the equipment we need to be successful as a school and as a tech team. Yes, media, communications, broadcasting, technology, future web design, I mean, all of that is part of what the tech team is teaching our children. Well, I hope at some point to be going with live morning announcements. I just have to talk to the right people to get that going, and just to be on the cutting edge of what technology has for our students and what we have for those who support us.